Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build the model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I will start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote into chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if, for whatever reason, you feel like being a lurker, cool, you can go ahead and lurk. It's also okay. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. We got a new model kit that we're starting tonight. The Methuss high grade. This is from Zeta. I believe Methuss is the correct pronunciation. If I'm getting that wrong, I'm sure someone at some point will correct me. But I believe that Methuss is the right way to go with that. This is a kit that transforms. It is, I believe, the second ever high grade that has a transformation. The second ever, it's not the second ever model kit with a transformation, it's the second ever mobile suit with a transformation from the show. This is a kit that was released in 2006. This is a reissue, so it is not 19 years old as far as the plastic goes, but the design is 19 years old. So that should be fun. It's a bit, let's see in this camera. Yeah, this camera, it does look more yellow than orange, but in person, it's got an orange quality to it, but it's supposed to be yellow. So that might actually, it might actually work out better for you than me that this looks more yellow than orange. Anyway, I'm looking forward to chatting with everybody and working on this model kit, which we will get into in a moment. Yeah, let's go to the overhead camera. I might get distracted tonight, and I apologize if I do. But you have to remember that it's the 3rd of July. And I live in southern United States, where fireworks are both legal and easy to acquire. As soon as the sun went down, about 50 minutes ago, fireworks began. They will continue throughout this evening. Hey, Lord Crashington, there will be fireworks tomorrow. And then on our Saturday stream, when we'll be back here doing our thing on a Saturday, there also will be fireworks. It will be an unending cavalcade of fireworks for me to hear and you to hear about, because you shouldn't hear them. You shouldn't hear the fireworks that I end up hearing, but I will be hearing them, and occasionally they will be so loud that I will be unable to not comment on it. I wish I could just not say anything, but unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. So yeah, some big loud fireworks will happen, and then I will react to those fireworks. It only occurred to me literally today that they would start tonight, because I don't know. I had other things going on. I had a busy day, and I guess it didn't occur to me that I might have to hear a shitload of fireworks tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. I knew tomorrow, and I also assumed Saturday, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I did forget that today would also be a super annoying day vis-a-vis fireworks. And I should be clear. I don't dislike firework displays. I think a good fireworks, Macy's used to do incredible fireworks displays in New York, and I would watch those from a rooftop, and it would be lovely. Fireworks on the river was always cool. It was just neat to see. I'm talking about, I bought fireworks and I'm just letting them off in a neighborhood. I'm not a fan of that. Never have been. I don't know if I ever will be. Because, there are a lot of dogs in this neighborhood, and they hate fireworks, traditionally. I'm sure that there are some dogs out there that are just like, whatever's happening right now, I am into. And they are psyched about it, or they just don't notice. I'm sure there's some. But traditionally, most dogs are like, hey, these noises are bad, and I don't like them. And so, I'm thinking about the dogs when I think about the fireworks. Dogs and cats. So I will do my best not to get distracted by the sudden sounds of of fireworks going off in the neighborhood, but I unfortunately am not skilled enough to fully ignore it in a way that you wouldn't notice. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the one thing. I mean, I'm just hearing them go off right now, and it's just annoying. I'll try not to be a broken record about how annoyed I am with the sound of the fireworks. And we'll talk about other things and things. I had been running into some. I heard a bunch of fireworks last night, says Lord Crashington. Yeah, I didn't. Luckily, I didn't hear any yesterday. I'm hearing them today. That is a blessing. Like I said, I got like a +1, -1. So like today, the event +1. That's where I think we're going to be at. So I've been running into some issues with OBS lately, and I think I fucking figured it out. So I thought I was having trouble with the encoding, and I was like, am I encoding things too quickly or too slowly? Like, what's going on? What's up with this? Is it NVIDIA? NVIDIA has had, especially the top end, has had some fucking nightmare issues lately. So it was like, is it NVIDIA drivers? Rolled back, still running into the same issues. Is it OBS? Didn't roll back OBS. I was hoping that it wasn't, but there was because OBS had put out a quick fix update that was supposed to address some issues with NVIDIA. Turns out those NVIDIA issues are unrelated to my issues that I was having. And eventually I was able to figure out what the fuck was going on. It wasn't NVIDIA, as far as I know. It wasn't NVIDIA. It wasn't OBS. It was Logi. Logi, pardon me, 1 second, sorry, got a weird itch. Logi is the software for my webcam. My Logitech webcam has shitty software that I don't really use for anything. I used it to set it. I would like to just never think about it again. I have it open to adjust, to kind of do a digital zoom on my camera, because my camera is kind of a little pulled back for good reason. So I do a little digital zoom on that, and that's all I really need for it. And then white balancing, and then set the white balance, and then never think about it again. I don't want to take screenshots using their software. I don't want to record video using their software. I don't want their software, but I have to have it installed. Apparently, there's something with that and the encoding that on Tuesday, when my stream was done, I hit stop recording and stop stream, and it wouldn't. They hung up. I had to force quit OBS, and then I had to quit another OBS thing that was in the background to get the video, my local recording, to be something that I could access. And apparently, hold on 1 second. I'll be back. 1 quick second, folks. I'm going to keep talking. I just have to fix a thing, and then I am back. Sorry about that. So I looked at all this. Apparently, something in the Logitech, the recent update to this Logi firmware. It's LOGI, but since it's Logitech, it should be Logi, but apparently it's Logi, but it's not Logitech, whatever. Apparently, something in that software does not play nice with OBS and was causing things to get hung up. And eventually, recordings would stop. It's just not instantaneous. I have now tested this a bunch. I just have to remember, I have to, here's the real annoying thing. I have to have this fucking software installed to do the digital zoom with my webcam that I want to do. It needs to be there, but I have to make sure that anything that says Logi is killed before I have OBS open, and then it will be okay. But if I don't do that, then it will be a problem. So I have to remember that anytime I restart my computer or boot up my computer. But right now it'll be fine. And they rebranded to Logi for a bit, and nobody liked it. Yes, and their software is still called Logi or Logi, I guess. It's bad. It's not, like I said, it's not good software, but I need it just for the zoom in and the white balancing, which I can do that natively in OBS, but I also use this webcam in Discord, and I use it in Zoom, and I use it in Ninja and a few other places, of course. So I kind of need to. I don't want to do it I don't want to do that white balancing and Zoom, digital Zoom, in every single application. I just want to do it in the Logitech software, which again doesn't have to be running. It just has to be on the computer. So when this stream ends and I hit stop streaming and stop recording, it should do that immediately. Like I said, my testing, it seemed to work fine. But of course, I didn't test it for 2 hours in a 2-hour recording. We'll see. Also, theoretically, I have changed a little bit of my encoding so that the files will be a little smaller when I upload them, which as archive, like, here's the thing. It's nice having an archive. It's awesome for me to go, what's the first model kit I ever built? What's the first Lego set I ever built on stream? I should specify on stream. I could just find that because I have archives of all of those on YouTube. It's really nice for that. But also, not a lot of people watch the full videos. A spreadsheet would do probably just as well, but I don't have a spreadsheet of this. I just have the archive videos. But it's nice to know, what's the first master grade I ever built on stream? What's the first high grade I ever built on stream? What's the first Lego set? What's, like I can find, what's the first glue kit I ever did? When did I make that belt? When did I make that belt for for that one-off show? Like when I make that cardboard belt, what stream was that? It's like really fun to be able to go and look that stuff up and have an archive of all those things. I don't have those archived locally because it's almost 8 years, and I don't want to do that. Reminder, my anniversary stream, 8-year anniversary stream will be let's see, it's a Saturday, July 19th. It's actually on the 20th. We're celebrating on the 19th. That's coming up at some point. But yeah, it'll be 8 years. 8 years of hour and a half a week to 3 hours a week to 4 hours a week to 6 hours a week to 8 hours a week pretty quickly. That's just too many hours for me to realistically continue to have all that as archived. I don't really need that. YouTube can keep that. If my channel gets killed and they go away, it will be a bummer, but I'm okay. Now, could I, your friend Pat, write a script for YouTube Downloader and download a 360, just to have like terrible quality and not like the 1080p, and go for like 360p and just download that, or like 480i and just download that and have like low quality just as an archive with like the name of the video? I could do that. I don't think I would do that, but I could do that if I wanted to. And that's maybe something I would do. But again, that's 8 years of video. So I would have to get very, very interested to do that. And I just don't see that. I don't see that happening. All right. So this kit does transform, which means that some of the things we have to do this are what I would describe as weird. Also, this kit is weird looking. Just a weird looking kit. It's a weird mobile suit. So, there's going to be some stuff going on with this thing that are strange. And we'll just have to deal with it. We'll have to look at it, try to make sense of it, do our best with it. But right now we got that together. And then we need a poly cap, and then it goes into that. So the poly cap goes in first. Working on our chest here of this weird little kit. Again, kit from 2006. This is definitely a reissue. I know it's a reissue. I don't know when it was reissued. I don't know how old this plastic is, but I do know that this plastic is not 19 years old. That is not an original. We have built kits from the 90s on this channel before that was like 30 years old and was originals. Those were not reissues when I worked on the non-graded G Gundam kits. I think I've only built like 2 of those. And those were, like I said, those were non-graded Maybe I did 3 or 4, but those were non-graded, and those were originals from the 90s. Those were not reissues. Which is definitely the oldest plastic I've ever worked on. It's the Shining Gundam, by the way, if you were wondering. The very first kit I worked on stream was the Shining Gundam, the Master Grade that I started building. I think this is a funny story. You might appreciate it. My very first stream, I had tools. I had snippers. I had some filing stuff. I had a spudger, very similar to this kind of spudger. I had a bunch of tools with me. I was not recording in my home. I was recording at an office, a room in an office, my day job's work place. So I had that. I had a room rented. I had wired internet. It was great to be able to get into that. And everything was working out. Everything looked like it was going to work out just fine. I opened up the kit, and one of the first steps in this Master Grade, this G Gundam Master Grade, involved a screwdriver. I had completely forgotten that that generation of Master Grades, they were experimenting with using screws and nuts to help with movement, because they were trying to make Master Grades be sturdier. They had like a lot of loose, like they hadn't really figured out rubberized polycaps that well, and so it was just plastic on plastic, and it wasn't working. And so they thought, well, let's do metal screws. I didn't have a screwdriver, so that first stream I had to skip to a different step that did not involve the screwdriver. I think there's like 4 screws on that kit. Maybe there's only 2, but there are a couple. And so then I had to later have a screwdriver for it, like specifically for it. And I still have one. I have had this screwdriver, I want to say, for 8 years. This little screwdriver here, which is perfect for the kinds of screws. Since then, I have built several kits where I have needed this. This has also been very helpful for around the house, occasionally for small screws. It's been really nice to have that as part of my kit. But that is, I think, the oldest piece of gear that I have, because I have not had to replace it, and I don't know why I would need to. All right, so is this C6? This is not what I wanted. I pulled this off of the polycaps. I forgot. This kit didn't use that polycap, but it still comes with it. They used plastic for the neck because this is a transforming kit, so they had to do a little different with it. I messed that up. I was like, why isn't this fitting? It's because it's not the right piece, but it came with it because this is like a 1999 polycap set that they just reused over and over again. Yeah, 99. So anyway, yeah, like I said, that was my very first stream. I was like, oh, this is not what I want to do. I learned a lot in those streams. It took me a long time to figure my shit out, but I did learn it eventually. Getting the second, I was using my laptop's webcam as the webcam on me, and I had one webcam. Eventually I got 2 webcams when I moved to my home streaming, because that way I could just use my computer and not that. And I had a card table, very similar to what I'm using here, next to my computer desk. And anytime I wanted to stream where I needed the table, I would take my monitors and move them, like pull them up and move them to the card table. And then I had, like, my lights were always up and ready to go. And when I used the green screen, I had a green sheet. And so I would just unfurl the green screen sheet and then weigh it down. And then eventually I gave up on that and just had a black background, because my lighting was never good enough for the green screen that I was using, and I was never good enough at doing it. And like the NVIDIA background remover didn't exist at the time. All right, so this somehow fits in here, and I have to figure out how that works. It goes like that. I feel like that didn't lock in at all, but maybe it's not supposed to. All right. There we go. That's in. Sure. Find out later if this needs to go in tighter, but also, like I said, this is a wacky kit, so who knows? All right. And then I need C and then A. And then, then of course, there are a bunch of stickers that need to go in as well. Got to put in a bunch of stickers on here, but we'll do the C ones here, C 14 and 13. Yeah, but I learned a lot in those first couple of years. I'm starting to learn a lot. I mean, it wasn't in the. It was only in the last 5 years. I don't know when exactly that I switched my overhead camera so that my arm goes like this instead of coming from the top. Like I inverted that in software when I switched to this better camera. That was something that I just never did for years, and eventually, people were like, "Oh, you should just like flip it," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I should have done that a long time ago and didn't." Originally, I had a tripod set up behind my laptop that would be on an angle and film down, so it was filming the overhead, but it was on an angle. And then eventually, when I was in my home setup, I got a arm that would attach to my monitor and come down with the webcam, which I eventually then replaced with this very nice arm here, because when I upgraded to the better camera, the digital camera instead of the webcam, I needed something stronger to hold it up. And then, recently figured out how to actually make that work so it doesn't, that me, like, putting my arm on the table doesn't move the camera. And that is the table that this arm is attached to. There is a distance between the two. And also then I weighted that table down so it doesn't just move around on its own. Again, it's consistently a process, and it is honestly one of the things I like about streaming over these many years is constantly figuring this stuff out. Like NVIDIA background remover. One day, somebody was just like, "Oh yeah, Pat, it's actually really easy to install," and sent me a web video, and I was like, or a YouTube video, and I was like, "Oh yeah, actually that is very easy to install. All right, I'll consider it and try it out," and then been using it ever since and like it a lot. All right, I need 19 and 20. Get this together here. And then we got to put stickers on. This kit needs stickers. I'm not stalling, but it's just a lot of news that isn't fun to talk about, but we will talk about it. An update. We'll do some updates first, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this. Quick update. Paste, I mentioned how Paste was getting rid of all of their gaming because they were doing an offshoot website. That website is called Endless Mode. So endlessmode.com is your basically anything that used to be on Paste Games on Paste website and pastemagazine.com is now on Endless Mode. They got some other stuff going up. It will cover video games, but also like tabletop stuff and anime and just like basically like nerd shit they don't want to cover on Paste Magazine. Games, anime, theme parks, and interactive entertainment. But it's still part of Paste Media, and Garrett Martin is editor-in-chief of it. And they are apparently staffing up some, and they have some money. So that's great. Let's see. We'll do the other story things that are happening here. The Escapist, who was purchased by Gamerus in 2022, as from the Enthusiast Gaming Network. You may remember that in 2023 they fired the editor-in-chief, and then a lot of people were like, "Actually, I'm also fucking leaving. This, goodbye. This would be a shitty place for me to stay," and they left. That included Yahtzee, and then that was basically the reason to visit the Escapist, so it kind of killed the Escapist. They have sold it. And The Escapist was always a site that was like Yahtzee and like a bunch of people that seemed like maybe they were Gamergate apologists. They were. But you didn't want to accuse it because all game journalism was under fire, including people at The Escapist. And there were a lot of good people working there. But there was always a vibe that some people working there were maybe just like, this thing seems overblown and maybe we can all figure this out. Which was not the case, of course. But it does seem like the new Escapist is not worth your time or energy, and you can probably avoid it. Apparently, H Bomber Guy was looking to buy it because they apparently were not selling it for that much, and he apparently was attempting to purchase it, but it was sold to another. He apparently just didn't work hard enough, or they weren't super interested in selling him. We don't really know, but either way, he didn't end up buying it. Instead, it's owned by another group, private investment. Let's see. So it's also .esports, and not shitty enough to buy them. Yes, .esports and The Escapist have been sold to a private investor, but we don't know if it's the same investor. It was unclear if one person bought both or two different people bought them. And yeah, we don't know. But again, there was some talk on, this was on LinkedIn, so I didn't read too much into it because that would require me to go to LinkedIn. And while I do have integrity as a presenter of information, I am not a journalist, but I do take what I say on this stream seriously as entertainment, but also as the fact that sometimes I am giving you information you did not have previously. I do take that seriously. I've been unable to, I don't want to go on LinkedIn, but apparently some shit was going on there that made it seem like actually this is not the vibes are not good at The Escapist now. Another sale. Kotaku got sold to the people that bought Gizmodo before. Kellops, which previously purchased Gizmodo 2024, has now also bought Kotaku from Geo Media. Apparently, they are not laying people off as part of this sale, and in fact are talking about steps to like what money needs to change hands to higher up. And that would be great. The guy running it made Manga jokes in his LinkedIn post and his history of using AI for articles. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to go on Instagram. I didn't want to go on LinkedIn, but yes, it sounded not good. Very not good over there. But yes, so the CEO of Kellops, Jean-Guillaume Kleiss, wrote, "We are thrilled to welcome the entire Kotaku team. It isn't just a brand, it's a home for gamers and a place where the culture keeps moving forward. We are honored to shape its future." Look, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? This version of it was not probably great, but this past version was not the best. They were doing the best they could with incredibly limited resources. Patricia did her fucking best. But Jim Spanfeller just fucking sucks. He just fucking sucks so much that like there was only so much Kotaku could do. And I hope that this group actually wants them and supports them and helps them higher up and keep things working and moving. That would be great. I should mention that the Green Hill Partners, who basically got the Gizmodo Media Group together. I was about to say, Lashbrook, what's left at Geo Media The root. It's just the root. I was just about to actually say that. It's only the root. That's all that's left in GeoMedia. Let's see. The root's the only thing there. Ziff Davis bought Lifehacker in 2023. Paste bought Jezebel. After they bought the husk of Jezebel. Jezebel was gutted and everyone was fired. And then they sold the name Jezebel and the site and the archives to Paste. Unfortunately, they were not interested in selling Jezebel to anyone. They just wanted to gut it, which they did. And then Paste also owns the AV Club, which was years and years and years ago. So that was completely different for many years. A lot of people didn't know that, I guess. But yeah, AV Club and The Onion were not the same thing for many years. So they branched them off. The Onion got sold in 2024. Ben Collins has it now and some friends. Deadspin was sold to a gambling media company. The Takeout was sold last year to Static Media, and then Jalopnik was bought by that same group this year as well, leaving only the root. Quartz and the Inventory were sold as well. So now they only the root. And apparently the root is probably winding down. Seems like they're just gonna. It seems like they haven't been able to sell the root, so they're gonna lay everybody off and then try to sell the husk of it like they did with Jezebel. That's what it seems like. So yeah, it's Kotaku was the holdout. And then fucking to explain why they sold it, Spanfelder took shots at unions, because of course he fucking did. The core methods that unions work with, companies working hard to change with the times, is counterproductive to both their membership as well as the companies as a whole. And who the fuck gives a shit what you have to say about unions, you piece of shit? Fuck off. Ain't no way anybody gives a shit about what that motherfucker has to say about unions. We fucking know how you feel about unions. Yeah, very excited about it. Happy for them. Hopefully they will thrive under that. Let's see. All right, we're gonna wait on that. I got one bit of anime news. New season of anime that started this week. I have one show to talk about tonight because I have not figured out what I'm covering on Thursdays. So I got one show to talk about as well as some manga to talk about. We have not talked about manga on this channel in quite some time. It is the return of Manga Thursday. So we will get into that. It's not as catchy as Manga Monday, but we do what we got to do. We do what we must. So a new show debuted. It is an original, not based on anything. Original property. That is called Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show, which seems not particularly interesting to me. But it is a death game thing. It is like some kind of horror game show thing that people don't want to be a part of. Supernatural horror stuff, not psychological torture, but maybe there's some like maybe also some of that. But it's horror and stuff. So anyway, the sub, it's subtitled, right? It's on Crunchyroll. You can get it subtitled in a variety of languages. You got your pick. And if you are someone that your primary language or just the language that you like to watch anime in is German, you would have been confronted in the first episode of Necronomico and the Cosmic Horror Show on Tuesday with a line that started with ChatGPT said, and then Wine Ik die Welt von Vert Gerben Khan. That is a butchering of that, but that's the general thing. Basically, somebody fucking used ChatGPT. Somebody used fucking ChatGPT to translate to write the subtitles there. And there's a statement from Crunchyroll in a second, I should say. This was only in the German. This did not appear anywhere else. It was only this one thing. But it's like, okay. Now, when I heard this news, I was like, well, there's a couple things this could be. This could be, sorry, I'm going to make sure I've got I'm doing this the right way here. This could be an employee of Crunchyroll. They have both contracted employees and some staff people, mostly contracted, that did this. And it could be that a contractor made for Crunchyroll took a little cheat. They did a little shortcut, to get it done. Because to make things faster, which sucks. It could be that Crunchyroll was experimenting on their own. They're like, well, we don't have a German localizer for this, so we're just gonna see what happens. We'll figure it out. We'll give it a shot. We're gonna try out ChatGPT on this and see how it goes. See if our German viewers can play. It could be that it was someone they contracted, just like cutting corners, and not Crunchyroll's decision, and they were, and the quality assurance wasn't there. Or it could be this thing. Now, a thing that happens is sometimes a company will strike a deal with like Crunchyroll or High Dive or Netflix or Amazon, and they'll say, we are going to handle our own dub and we're going to handle our own subtitles. And it's part of the negotiation. And sometimes those are terrible, because sometimes the reason why they're saying that is because they want to save a bunch of fucking money by not having a person do it and not having any oversight in it and just having someone use that and just go like that. So if you believe Crunchyroll, that is what happened here. Now, they don't blame their partner. They don't blame the production company that they signed a deal with to license this anime. They say that a third-party vendor provided Crunchyroll with the AI-generated subtitles in episode 1, and Crunchyroll informed Anime News Network that AI-generated subtitles violate the company's agreement with vendors. So this is a thing. So if you are giving a charitable view of this, Crunchyroll, instead of dealing with an individual that they hired to do this, which they do a lot with English, they usually they hire a person to be the localizer for a show or a couple shows, and they do that. But often, if they have several languages, they will have a third party, because that third party vendor will be excellent at doing German. They're fast and efficient, and they've had, and whatever. And then they keep them for that, and they're like, okay, well, you're our partners for the following shows that we're going to give a German subtitle to. German subtitles to. And so for all of this to work out, we must believe that Crunchyroll, that this was not something they did and got caught doing. That this was not one of their contracted employees. This was a third party. And this was not the publisher of the production of the anime doing this. This was a third party. Also, that's been removed. Apparently, the prefix ChatGPT said is no longer there as of yesterday. That was removed. And as far as I know from looking at reporting, they have not. They just took that out. They didn't do a fresh translation, but apparently that's coming. You may remember a couple years ago, there was a show that had incredibly bad subtitles, and everyone was like, why are you doing this, Crunchyroll? And Crunchyroll had to be like, because they were getting so much shit, they had to be like, actually, our license with this company, or, you know, for this said that they would handle translation. We're trying to work something out with them. And literally told people where to complain about it, which was pretty unprecedented. Because it was very clear that they were sick of eating shit for this, because there'd be other things. I should also say that Crunchyroll has been experimenting with AI, because every company wants to do things cheaper. Now, that's not in subtitles. And localization and subtitles, they have not used AI and say that that is part of their, you know, that violates their agreement. Don't think that. Please don't think that. Please do not tell people this is how I live. Don't believe that stuff, whatever. If you want to believe that or not is up to you. I'm going to finish this head here, and then we can start paneling the head and chest, because we are done with the chest here. So we can get into some panel lining here in just a moment. But let me finish up this kit. I wanted to get the stickers on so I don't have to do them later. Okay, so what is this? That's different? Okay, so yeah. Sorry. Last year they were experimenting with using AI for Lord Crashton wants me to dance button. Let me just get this thought out, and then I will do that, because I keep distracting myself and not finishing the thought. And then also part of it is the fact that there's fireworks going off, which you can't hear, but I fucking can. Last year, Crunchyroll was doing, they were experimenting with using AI for closed captioning replacement. So they didn't have to pay for a third party to do closed captioning. Why wouldn't they just use the subtitles? Well, closed captioning isn't just the subtitles. So because this is for like English dubs, basically. They were ingesting audio of English dubs and then pumping out closed captions based on the language. They weren't putting in the scripts, they were having it listen. If they put in the scripts, that would have worked better. Because the dub and the sub are going to be different. There's mouth matching, there is differences in language, and just like actors are going to behave differently. They're going to say things differently and respond differently. And that is, by all accounts, fucking garbage. Because some people were like, well, I want the subtitles and I want that. But also, closed captioning is supposed to denote when music is playing. It is supposed to denote sound, especially sound that happens off screen. It's supposed to be fucking more than just the subtitles. So that shit was fucking embarrassing. They've already eaten a lot of crow for that. They're probably not done using it. This is probably not over as far as that goes. But as of right now, I'm inclined to believe that Crunchyroll fucks up in so many ways, but they weren't fucking up in this one instance. I do not blame Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll understands that good subtitles are their bread and butter. And even if they have most of the deals, they don't have everything. They didn't get the last Gundam, right? Like Bandai, who reportedly loves Crunchyroll, still took in all that money that Amazon offered them. Like Netflix makes its own deals. Obviously, they don't have as much, but like they have the majority, but they don't have all of the anime. So they understand that part of the thing that separates them from people who just will fan sub their own shit and put up their own stuff on the on scraper sites is the speed of which that the simulcasts come out, and then also the fact that the quality is going to be better than a fan subber. Now, when that doesn't happen, then it becomes a problem, but at least Crunchyroll does understand that. So I'm inclined to believe that these subtitles were not actually their problem. Although, it still shows you that they have too much fucking anime because they're not doing a good job of quality control. That's very clear that Crunchyroll is failing in quality control with their partners. And their partners also, the vendors that they're working with, are also doing a bad job because that shit's sneaking through. All right, I gotta fucking... Someday I'll not talk about this video game and this company anymore, but there's an update to Build a Rocket Boy. Build a Rocket Boy, the fine folks that brought you Mind's Eye and then laid off a bunch of people because fucking Mind's Eye is not good and people don't want to play it and it doesn't work well and it's not a good video game. You may remember that that the co-CEO Mark Gerhard claimed in talking to fans that there was a concerted effort by someone to ruin the game's reputation before release. And IO Interactive, who published it, the game, had to be like, there's no fucking way, come on. Literally, IO Interactive's CEO told IGN, I don't believe that. I just think the game should speak for itself June 10th. So didn't throw it under the bus, but was like, no one's fucking trying to silence this game ahead of time. I'm going to hit the dance button and I'll get into more of this bullshit in a moment. I'm hitting the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points. Here's the July dance song. Oh yeah. Yeah, we gotta do it. And do it. And yeah. Anyway, so he was like, oh, there's a country. They made it seem they wanted you to think that that like Rockstar or Take-Two were so scared of this game that they would like negatively talk about it, like they would like pay people to like anti-shill it. Like literally they were implying without saying that like, oh yeah, people are scared about our game that's going to revolutionize. It's like, fuck off. Nope. They don't think about you. They don't think about you, Benz. So apparently this is a reporting from IGN. 2 unnamed people present at a meeting for Build a Rocket Boy, people that weren't laid off by Build a Rocket Boy, said that Benz still thinks that someone was fucking with them. He insisted that, well, first he said they're going to recover. They're going to recover from the launch, and they're going to relaunch the game, but no information about how that would work and what that would mean. That the struggles of the studio could partially be blamed on internal and external saboteurs. Literally, he thinks that somebody in the company or some people in the company were fucking with them, but also that they were being fucked with from the outside, which is fucking delusional and wild. Kotaku, this is a Kotaku article here with a write-up with some thoughts from Zach Zuzen. It's odd to suggest the game was sabotaged, since as anyone who's played Mind's Eye can tell you, the game didn't need dedicated trolls to ruin its reputation. The bland mission design, annoying minigames, boring dialogue, bugs, and horrible performance on all platforms provided more than enough reason for people to not like Mind's Eye. And that's the thing. It's just like no one fucking went out of their way. Like, so did people really love shitting on this game? And is that a thing that we eventually do have to come to terms with? Because it's not like the worst game of 2025. No one's playing the worst game of 2025 because it fucking sold 10 copies and it just lives, and it's just fucking a Unreal demo or a Unity demo with stolen assets that is just a flip, and somebody spent $6 on it a couple times. No, that's the worst game. This isn't the worst game that came out this year. But is it a game that had a budget and had promotion and had like a bunch of stuff and is the game to shit on du jour? Yes. So it part of it is not their fault because of the machine and human nature and the way we are right now, collectively, not individually. I'm not blaming any of you. But also, the game just seems like a fucking buggy mess and shitty. So that ain't on us. Okay. There are layoffs a lot of places. There are games canceled. Microsoft is laying people off across the board. It looks to be about 830 employees within the United States. In California specifically, there will be layoffs throughout the world in all departments of Microsoft. While this is not... Yes, this is mismanagement on the Microsoft Teams side. Phil Spencer does not get off clean because of this, but this is also not his call. And yes, the thing is, the Xbox division is profitable. The Xbox division makes money. They made billions of dollars. But Microsoft, as a company, wants to invest more money than Xbox made in AI. And these layoffs are to get more money within the company without having to go into their coffers or go into their cash reserves. They want to free up more money to go all in on AI. And that's what they're fucking doing. Microsoft's desire to have AI and not divest from military work has meant that a lot of people who are going to make some cool video games and maybe some bad video games aren't going to get to make those video games. And I want to stress that, and I meant to stress it as much as I can, that I am not saying that Phil Spencer was at fault and that everyone at Xbox is doing a great job, but also doing a great job or doing a bad job has nothing to do with layoffs. Layoffs are looking at spreadsheets. People who do not know faces, who are paid to not care about people, look at a spreadsheet and go, well, if we need to make X amount of dollars, then Y amount of people need to go. And also, we're going to stop investing in certain other games. We're going to close studios. We're going to cancel games. We're going to pull funding from at least 2 to 3 projects, not the Kojima projects, because that money is so small it doesn't matter. And also, our contract would be very difficult for us to do that. But we will cancel some games, and we will make it so that basically Rare is pretty much done. A bunch of stuff, multiple games, Perfect Dark reboot, Everwild. It sounds like there are a couple companies that are going to be getting layoffs because they're getting their funding pulled that were not part of it. Just a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to read anybody's messages to employees or anything like that. Some of them sound insane, like the words from, like they might be written by robots. And some of them do sound like, I'm proud of what this team was doing. I'm sorry we don't get to keep doing it, kind of a thing. Priorities have changed within the company, kind of like almost honest stuff, but like as honest as you can be at that level, and that level of at a certain point, if you are in that position in a company, you are a sociopath. It's just how that works. But some people have enough training to come off like a human when talking to people about these things. Again, I am not trying to like downplay all of that. Because people are like, well, Phil Spencer must be able to protect people. No. Why would he? How? He can protect himself. They'll keep him around. But like, what? No. Phil Spencer doesn't get to say, no, boss, you're not laying off anyone in this department because we make you money, because that doesn't matter. Fuck off. Like, oh, no. Lay off this many people. Make this amount of money appear is what everybody gets told. And it fucking sucks. It really sucks. There was a game canceled. And then it's coming out that literally a game got canceled that Xbox executives were really psyched about. That they literally had to ask Phil to stop playing a demo because he was having so much fun with it, so they could keep doing a meeting. And you're like, why would they fucking cancel something that they all thought was good? And the answer is because they have to make they have to make savings go up and headcount go down. And it doesn't matter if that game was good, because they're not in the business of that. And they should be. They fucking clearly should be in the business of that. But they aren't in the business of that. And it fucking sucks, and I don't think it's sustainable. I should say, y'all know this. No one watching this video doesn't know this. Do not use social media to tell developers just to go indie. That is not feasible. That is not viable. Nobody needs to fucking hear that. Wish them well. Tell them you like their games. Ask them if they have personal projects somewhere. Do they have a Bandcamp page, or do they have old games they did before they got into gaming, or like full-time job, and they made some stuff on itch? Like, if there are job openings at your company in those in the fields, if you are in game dev, pass that along, but don't tell people to go independent. Yeah, the money isn't there for that. The funding isn't really there for that kind of thing. That is not helpful advice. I don't think anybody here would do it, but just to be clear. So bunch of stuff got canceled. It fucking sucks. 2K is laying people off in their studio Cat Daddy games. They are mobile developers. They made NBA 2K mobile port and 2K Playmakers. They do football. They do a lot. They do the WWE games. They do a bunch of stuff. And they have laid off several people. Do not have, they said roles are being made redundant. 2K does not have a statement on this. Apparently this isn't even the first round of layoffs. Other people were laid off. And it seems like they're just doing like a bunch of stuff there, here and there. Which is a shame. And 80 people have been laid off at Free Range Games. These are the people that are working on Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. They had another game being worked on, an unannounced game that was being worked on, and everyone working on that game has been laid off. That was 80 people. This is, again, via LinkedIn stuff. Narrative designers, UX designers, executive producer, designers, senior producers. This was apparently a game they'd been working on 4 years. On Monday, the project I've been working on for the last 4 years was pulled from our hands, and our entire development team was laid off. We are all saddened, off balance, and most of all, looking to the future. 80 devs. Its publisher pulled funding. Is all we know. They apparently laid off some people not too long ago as well, kind of ahead of this to keep head above water, and then it went. You may know them that they helped work on Oddworld. They helped work on the Callisto Protocol. That they have a game right now. It's an early access called Reckless, which is a skateboarding game. They've had a few tools and a few things in the fire. It's a fucking bummer. My heart goes out to everybody affected by that. Having your entire team get laid off all at once, like it just. There are so many people that have gotten so hurt by all of this, and it's a real fucking shame. I don't take pleasure in talking about these things, but it's good to know that I think it's just important to know what's going on in the industry that we all enjoy. It's fucking rough out there, and I hope it gets a little easier for people. I don't know how that would be true, but I still am hopeful. We'll talk about an anime that I've been watching. The first episode of the new season. Season 2, episode 1 came out on yesterday and Wednesday. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about some manga before that. But before we do that, I am going to talk to you, that's right, you, the viewer, about ways that you can support what I do here. If you would like to. If you want to. Optional ways. Everything I'm about to talk about here is optional. You're under no obligation to do any of these things. If you would like to, that would be great. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But we'll go through those, and then we'll get back to model kit building and talk about some stuff that's a little more fun. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote into chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you can use that token. You can use Cash Money if you want to do that. You could gift a sub. You could be the first person to gift a sub in July if you want to do that. You could join Harold by throwing some bits in and top the cheerleader board. Always fun to do that. There are other ways to support me, like Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. When convenient, when you want to, if you want to do that, see if there's a tier that's right for you. My $10 patrons voted on this being the kit I'm worked on, which is fun. I thought they were going to pick the more modern kit that I have in there, but they picked the 2006 Weirdo kit, which is great. I'm not displeased with that. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't want to build it. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over my YouTube channel, of course, you can subscribe for free. If you want to become a member over there for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So the video I'll talk about a little later, you would have seen before other people got to see it, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you want to support me just on a one-time basis, you can go and throw a tip in my tip jar, which is my Ko-Fi or my PayPal, if you want to do that. I would appreciate it. Every little bit goes into me buying model kits. So everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and out of that fund, I buy model kits. This kit I purchased because of your past generosity. Past you has helped out future me. I just want to check to see if no, okay. The AdSense is not updated. I'm like 15 bucks away. I'm like 15 bucks away from getting a payout from AdSense, which would be so great because then I'll use that $100 to buy model kits. Anyway, this kit I was able to purchase because of your past generosity. I should also say that I have an Amazon wish list. If you want to buy something for me to build on stream, You can do that over on my Amazon wish list. Purchase it there. It'll come to me in the mail. It will jump the queue and become the next thing I build. And I'll get a dedicated video on my YouTube channel. I've got model kits. I got Lego sets. I got inexpensive kits. I got expensive kits. I got a jigsaw puzzle, Magic Gathering themed jigsaw puzzle, the Planewalkers. Lego model kits. I got some new stuff that I recently added there. The G-Quarks is in there. If you want to get me something from this last Gundam season, we can get into that. Also, Gabthely from Z Gundam is in there. The Z Gundam Gabthely from Zeta, I should say. A bunch of things that I would be happy to work on in the future if you wanted me to do it. But see if there's something there that strikes your fancy. Oh, a new thing that's on my wish list. A new thing that just got added. The most recent thing is it's pricey, but there's a 2-pack of Dragon Ball Daima model kit, action figure model kits, I should say. It's like I said, it's pricey. There's like a rocky cliff, and then there is mini Goku and mini Vegeta, because they got made into young. They got made tiny. So it's Chibi Goku and Chibi Vegeta as a model kit together. It looks cool. Like I said, it's a little pricey, but if you want to see me put that together, you could buy that off my Amazon wish list, and I would do that. The last of Char's red kits, the Jack Duga, is a decent price right now. I got a bunch of things and things. See if there's something there you'd like to see me put together, and you can pick that up. And I'll, come to me mail, like I said, and I'll buy it. I'll build it, I should say. Someday I'll actually say all of that correctly the first time. But yeah, if you see something you'd like me to put together, you could buy it for me if you want this summer. Nice summer build that's because of you. My alternative to Amazon is Throne. I am delayed. I need to get back on Throne and update it. It's been a little while. I got to throw some more stuff up on there. Even though no one has ever used Throne for this channel, I'm still going to keep it up because I do want to have an alternative to Amazon. And then if you want to support me financially and you want it to be the most convoluted way possible, go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card there. They will send you an email with a gift card code. Then you could send me a whisper on Twitch, or a DM on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. I always check my message request on Twitter, and there are never anyone that actually wants to message me. They're always fucking garbage. Always just garbage. Let's see. All right, yeah, that's all the ways to support me financially. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? If you're watching this later on Twitch, what's up, VOD watchers? You can find all that. Twitch, just look in chat. On YouTube, you can find that in the show description of this video. Is anyone even still on Twitter? So Lashbrook, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, unfortunately, there are people that I want to follow who are still on Twitter. Now, are there people on Twitter that engage with what I write on there? No. So I don't really post things on Twitter for people to see it. I post out of obligation more than anything else and consistency. But I, unfortunately, am still on Twitter because a lot of wrestlers and wrestling organizations are not on Blue Sky, and especially international. And all of the VTubers that I want to watch and want to watch their stuff, Hollow Live has not allowed them to be on other platforms. They're still on X, which is a shame. But yeah, so for updates on that, I'm still on there. If honestly, if Hololive moved everybody over to Blue Sky, there would be a huge influx of Blue Sky people. It would be pretty great. But because the people that make art and that make video stuff and do all kinds of stuff about HoloLive VTubers are also on Twitter still, because the people they follow are there. It would be a not insignificant number of people. I got a Discord. You can join my Discord if you want to do that. A couple of video links for you to check out. Next week I will have a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. But if you are starting this new anime season and you would like some knowledge about the shows that are coming out, maybe some stuff I'm excited about, or if there was some stuff last season you're like, what did Pat think about Apocalypse Hotel? Or like, did Pat watch did Pat watch that one of those creepy shows? One of the creepy shows? Did he watch that? You watch that video and find out. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. The month of July is me talking about my favorite shows from the previous month. And this video, this short I put up, is about Rock is a Lady's Modesty, which is a phenomenal series. It's one of my favorite shows from the spring 2025 season. So if you want to hear about this very cool show, in under a minute, I tell you all about it and hopefully pique your interest. The dub is coming. When I recorded this video, that information was not out there. Starting in August, the dub will start airing, I believe, weekly for Rock is a Lady's Modesty. Because I always like to say at the end of the video where you can find it and if it's subtitled or dubbed. Obviously, subtitled. I don't think I've ever recommended an anime that isn't subtitled, but... Or maybe it'll be like, well, it's available in English, like dubbed. Like if I recommended Lazarus, I would say Adult Swim's website or HBO Max, dubbed. Like, you want to watch it that way. All right. So I read some manga that I want to talk to you about, and then we'll talk about an anime that I have been watching as well, as I try to figure out which shows I'm going to be covering. I don't know yet. So, like I said, we got that. We'll talk about that. We'll start with the manga, and then we'll get into the anime. Before I do that, I do need to drink some water. We need to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera. And we will do both those things now. All right. So, the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the night-loving saint is happy in her exile. It's a banished. It's a kicked. I think banished is probably the right one for this. I still haven't figured it out. I think banished is the term for this. Okay, banished. This is not an isekai. Our girl was the saint of a country. She was meant to marry the crown prince. Eventually, she was going to use her saint powers. Her saint powers had apparently not fully manifested themselves, but like people in the church knew this girl is the saint. This is the real deal. Eventually, her powers will manifest, and it'll be a great boon for the country. This dude, the crown prince, is basically just like, I am removing you from the position. You are the fake saint. You have been bullying your younger sister, who is, of course, her stepsister, who is the saint. She's the true, real saint. And get out of here. And you're like, Pat, like, oh, she's gonna like plot her revenge, or it's gonna be one of those things where like, her life will be hard, but eventually, like, someone will figure out, like, oh, this is the wrong thing, and come to her rescue. Our girl's fucking stoked about this shit. Our girl is so happy. She didn't want to be queen. That's impossible. She does know she's the saint, but like, and is the real saint, but like, maybe her stepsister has power. Maybe she does. That would be cool if she did. That would be great. The thing is, our girl fucking is so psyched about being banished, because she's being banished to like the outskirts of the kingdom, an area where there are a lot of monsters around, and like There's the frontier and the knights. There's the group of knights that work there, and she's just like, hell yeah. I'm gonna go fucking hang out with muscular knights. Because our girl loves muscles. Our girl can't get enough of like toned, muscular dudes. She's so fucking psyched about this shit. She is so psyched about it. And she is weird. She is trying to cover up the fact that she's so stoked. But she's also like, when her dad like died, she was treated very poorly by her stepmom and stepsister. So she's used to living on her own. She's used to cooking her own meals and doing cleaning. Because everyone's figuring, oh, this girl's going to like wash out. She's going to have like a terrible time and you know, come crying and all that. Nah, our girl is fucking fine with this. She is vibing. Also, she's the saintess. She's a saint. So monster attacks have been lowered. But meanwhile, monsters are showing up more and more in the capital. Because of fucking course they are. This is the wrong piece. Of course monsters are showing up more in the capital. Like, our girl isn't there to protect the capital anymore. So of course more monsters are showing up. Now, I wish that this show was this book was a little less romance and a little more like action, because there are handsome dudes who are just like, what the fuck's going on, right? Like, something's going on. I appreciate they're like, we heard that she was like bullying someone and was like a fake saint and like a troublemaker. And it's very clear that this girl was like, had it rough, right? And it's just like, there's some drama. There's a kidnapping attempt. There is some fucking fuckery around. Also, the captain of the guard the captain of the knights is clearly like unbelievably attracted to her and totally into her. And it's like, that's fine. Wait, what's happening here? Why isn't this should be clicking into place, and it's not. And I'm like, did I fuck up this twice somehow? I need B11 and B9, and I don't know if I got either of these right. Okay, I do have B11 and I have B9, I think, unless this is actually B11 and this is B9. That's what happened. Okay. The part that I was like, oh, I grabbed the wrong part was the wrong part. I grabbed it wrong twice somehow. I was wrong about which part that I grabbed wrong was actually wrong. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what happened. Anyway, I wish it was a little more action. I wish she was a little more active. It's a little too shoujo for my particular liking. I think the premise is really fun and they have a good time with it. I'm looking forward to, like, really right now they seem to be focusing on figuring out what happened and how, you know, like what the state of affairs is. Also, as I said, there's been a hints of comeuppance happening because there are more monsters in the capital because the saintess is in the capital, and the girl that said she was the saintess is starting to like, it's starting to be very clear, oh, this girl does not, like, the prince got fucking lied to. So we'll see what happens with it. But, I mean, I'm going to keep reading it. Like I said, it's a little more shoujo than I would like. I'd like it a little bit more balanced, but it's still really fun. And that's The Night-Loving Saint is Happy in Her Exile. The next one we will talk about is an isekai. Did you think I wouldn't talk about an isekai? Of course I'll talk about an isekai. Here's an isekai that I wanted to talk to you about. All right, so I need... It's C20, C19, C24 first, and then I'll do C26 and 27. So this is Mercedes and the Waning Moon, the Dungeoneering feats of a discarded vampire aristocrat. So our girl died, She had a meager life. She worked hard. She had nothing really to show for it. And in this life, she wants to do better than that. She is the daughter of a lord and a concubine. She knows that her dad has never visited her and has no interest in her. But and she's like, someday an heir is going to get named. There are multiple kids out there, and they're kids of like noble birth, and they're kids like her that are just like in the exterior families. She knows that when one of her half brothers or sister gets made the heir, she's out of there. Because they're not gonna care about her. Like, she'll become a threat to the family, her mom, and the old maid that's been with the family for a very long time. They'll be shunned, if not killed. What's gonna happen? Like, they're gonna run out of funding. They're gonna run out of protection. So our girl is basically just like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go into a dungeon, and I'll figure my shit out in a dungeon. And that'll be a good thing. We'll just go into a dungeon and like make some money. So that's basically where we're at here. Because even though she's young, she still can get stronger. And she does do very well. Also, she gets herself some familiars. She defeats an ogre in battle, and the ogre swears fealty to her. And then we get like really convoluted, complicated stuff about how like he was a guardian in the dungeon, so he gets replaced, and he has like, now he has more free will. Also, she finds a little wolf puppy and raises it, and that wolf rules and is very expressive and cool, and they are a formidable trio. There's another thing that gets captured and then ends up becoming like the looks after the house. It's very fun. The dungeon crawling is pretty damn cool. There's some issues with she doesn't have to deal with any other problems with like humans or whatever, because it's a nation of vampires. There's a whole convoluted thing, like I said, about like conquering a dungeon and the dungeon going away, and she now has access to a dungeon, and it's this whole like fucking thing that seems really big for the story they're trying to tell. And I was very surprised that there was so much of it. I was like, we're really diving deep into this particular thing. I was kind of shocked that they went so hard on diving into all of this stuff. It was surprising how detailed and deep it is. And then she gets invited to like the coming of age ceremony for her older brother, the person who probably should be the heir. But then shit goes really out of control with like some people are clearly trying to get him killed. And our girl is one of the first people to react to it because she is very strong and very smart. So she like figures out what needs to get done. And basically her father is suddenly like really impressed with her. So then she gets to say, move into the main residence, and she has a better, higher standard of living. And also, she's being groomed to maybe become the heir, which she doesn't want. And her dad knows she doesn't want. And so she's using the family, but he's using her for something, and we're not sure what, but it's probably to like eventually make it so she has to become the heir. And just where I left off on this, it looks like she's going to have to go to a school, and I hope that it is. I really like the dungeon stuff. I thought the dungeon stuff was really well done. I'm not particularly thrilled with the fact that this is going to become a like vampire and monster school story. I think that's not. It's interesting, but it's not like. It is an interesting idea, but I think I was more interested in the young monster girl, vampire girl, like pushing herself to her limits and exploring dungeons with her cool monster friends. I thought that was fucking way more interesting than the and even the like other vampire stuff, the other characters, like all of the other concubine kids were like we're gonna join forces and take on him, and she was like, don't do that. What are you talking about? None of you are at his level. All of you will fail and you'll get killed. Like, also, don't tell me to fall in line because I'm definitely stronger than all of you. So don't do that. And like another young kid who was just looking for help, and how she helps out one of her half sisters, which was really cute scene. This girl just like figuring out something that this her other half sister could do to earn money for her family and support them. Was really fun. Like I said, I'm skeptical about the school arc. I hope it's short. I hope that it's a short thing and we get more adventuring and fighting and all that, because that's what I think the show excels at way more than the other stuff. But overall, still really into it. Still happy to watch it, or to read it, I should say. Hope it gets an adaptation. I think Mercedes and the Waning Moon would be a really good anime. Just like so far, I haven't watched the first episode of Water Magician. That is on my list. That is high on my list of things that I want to see. Are these the right parts? Sorry. B13 and B12. I have to see if B13 and B12, if these are actually those parts. Because if they are, B12 and B13, I did take those out. So these parts somehow clip in here. And I can't figure out why they won't. Okay, that goes like that. All right, great. There it is. That goes in there. These were really annoying. I don't know why, but they were. All right. Got some of this arm done here. We can keep working on it. We got pieces of arms coming together here. So that's B24. Oh, man. A sticker. We were doing so good with stickers, but then, unfortunately, that was not to be. There had to be at least a couple more. I like the first manga I talked about here, but Mercedes and the Waning Moon, the Dungeoneering Feats of a Discarded Vampire Aristocrat. I don't know why I keep saying Aristocrat. I mean, I know why. I just don't say Aristocrat that often, and I've said Aristocrat some number of times in my life. But it's a little embarrassing. So that is the manga that I have been reading. As I said, Water Magician is an anime I would like to see. I don't know if I'm going to cover it. I don't know what I'm covering this season. I can tell you I'm probably not actually going to cover Reborn as a Vending Machine. I now wander the dungeon season 2, because I don't think I'm... Oshino Ko, I think I will keep doing, but I don't think I'm going to do season 2s or 3s of any show. So, because I think it's more interesting for me to talk about new stuff and then just at the end of the season tell you if I like the second season of a thing. So I probably won't talk about Kaiju number 8 or Sakamoto Days, but I will be watching those because I am interested in those things, because I like the first seasons of those. But I did watch this, and I don't know what I'm going to be talking about on Thursdays. So here's episode 1 of season 2 of Reborn as a vending machine. If you were unaware about this show, it is one of my favorite isekai of the modern era. It is a postmodern isekai, much like So I'm a Spider, So What, or Reborn as reincarnated as a slime. Just the weird isekai, the like non-traditional isekai of like, I don't know, let's get fucking weird with this thing. Let's see what happens. We'll get a little wacky with the premise. Our guy was a vending machine enthusiast. He died in an accident being crushed by a vending machine. He is reborn in a fantasy world that does not know what vending machines are. He can morph himself into other things. He has a very capable person who has decided to kind of like adopt him, and she named him Boxo, which is a fucking fantastic name. They went on adventures. There's one episode in season 2, there's one episode in season 1 that is unbelievably fucking sad. It is incredibly sad. I do not remember which episode it is. It is towards the middle. I don't remember the number, but they have one really sad episode in Reborn as a Vending Machine. So just want to put that out there. There is one season that is a fucking bummer, or one episode, I should say, that's a bummer. All right, I need to find a sticker here, and it's these ones that goes on this. I'm going to triple check here. Yeah. All right. Boxo, the end of the last season, they fought a bunch of stuff. There's some calamities. There's a bunch of things. There are a bunch of dungeons that need to get defeated. There's a whole thing. It was a lot of that. We saw some old characters in this first episode back. Boxo becomes somehow becomes a mentor to a young guy. The bear, who is a director, who is also a bear, wants our friends to meet up with a bunch of new hunters because they have to beat the Netherlord. This is the next of the big demon lords they have to defeat is the Netherlord. They got to do that or their world is fucking toast. So they got to come up with a plan to action to beat this current evil that they got to deal with. All right, so I got to put this all together here. Sorry, let's look ahead here. Figuring this thing out. This all goes like this. This lines up like that. That makes sense. That's the arm. Okay. And then I need more B parts here. When I do the other arm, this will be a lot faster because I will have learned all of the weirdness of this. Reminder, this is a weird looking kit that also transforms. So all right, yeah, so they're going to fight a bunch of demon lords, the Netherlord, to get a history of this Netherlord. The new people are like, yeah, all right, we're going to take on the Netherlord. Like, yeah, we're into it. This all makes sense. What's up with that vending machine? What's up with that big box thing? What's up? What's going on? Yes, Lord Crashington is technically, this is a transformer. It is a kit that has a transformation. So yes, technically, it is a transformer. 25, okay. Let's see. They get joined by a bunch of characters from the first season, including the director of The Orphanage, the elderly couple that have loved. There's a whole episode of the elderly couple trying to figure out what they want to buy from Boxo. It's very fun. They apparently are they are also former hunters, so they're going to help out. Humanly, one of the characters, he suspects that the Netherlord might be pulling strings and might be manipulating them, and this could be a trap of some sort, which would make some fucking sense. Lamnis is our main girl is preparing for this fight. Let's see. Eventually, they find the Netherlord, and Netherlord attacks everybody, but they survive. Because guess what, folks? Yes, they were being manipulated by the Netherlord, but they outsmarted the Netherlord. The Netherlord knows that the secret to survival is to take out the big box thing, the box creature. But Lammis doesn't have Boxo on her back. Lammis has a fake Boxo on her back, and the real Boxo is floating above secretly being held up by a bunch of helium balloons, and then lets go of the balloons, transforms into a giant ice machine, and lands on the Demon Lord, the Nether Lord. This one of the Demon Lords. This one's the Nether Lord. Lands on it, and then the Nether Lord is like, "What the fuck? What happened?" And he's trapped in a barrier. Then dumps all the ice and ice water into the barrier that the Netherlord is trapped in. And then from a previous episode, we may remember that Boxo transformed into a life-saving vending machine because it had a defibrillator. So then Boxo uses the defibrillator to defeat the Netherlord. And take it out. And everybody's just like, yeah, fuck yeah, we did it. Except, of course, that's not actually the Netherlord. They didn't defeat the Netherlord. That was the Netherlord's arm disguised as the Netherlord. Like, took off its own arm and made a clone, basically. The Netherlord's actual real plan was to lure hunters into the dungeon, and then make monsters out of the corpses of the hunters. And Humili was right. The Netherlord was manipulating them. And then apparently the Netherlord has trapped them in this dungeon and leaves. And is just like, now I'm going to go do shit. Bye. And takes off. So now they're trapped in this dungeon, and the Netherlord is now going to other areas which will be theoretically defenseless or less defended because so many hunters are now trapped in this dungeon. And even though he didn't get to kill them, he still got to remove them. He may have killed some of them, but we didn't see. So that's fucked, and that's the end of our first episode. But it did make it seem like the first episode of season 2 was just Boxo, like, outsmarting and then fucking taking out this goddamn guy. And it seemed pretty cool, but alas, it was not to be. I might slide this piece off to panel line underneath it when I'm later. We'll see if I want to take this off, and what I probably want to panel line around here and all that, but we'll slide it on for now and finish the arm, and then I'll see what I want to remove to panel line, because I'm sure there'll be something that I want to do. Also, there it goes. I was like, this slid in really well, and then it didn't. So yeah, I don't know if I will be covering this show weekly. Like I said, I mean, I just breezed through it. I didn't go through all the characters. They really expect you to remember everyone from season 1, and I feel like that's maybe a mistake because I like the show a lot. I don't remember everyone in season 1, but the premise is still so fucking fun. I really like the show, so I was happy to watch this episode. And again, not fully sure what I am going to be covering on a day-to-day here. But on Saturday, I will have a few shows to talk about. At the very least, I think on Saturday... Yeah, hold on. Sorry, let me just clean up a bunch of this stuff here. Delete this, delete that, delete that, delete that. Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter is a show that is running on Sundays. So on Monday, I will talk about the first 2 episodes of that. I'm pretty sure that I will be watching that. Not sure. Not 100% sure. It seems like a fun premise. And I like the idea of a guy who basically does not want to become a tutor, but it's the only thing he can fucking do. And he gets basically talked into doing it. And there's like definitely some shit going on that we don't know about with his past and his current relationship he's in. So like more of that. But then also I have heard that maybe all of these young ladies that he's going to be tutoring have crushes on him. And if it gets really fucking gross, then I'll probably bounce out. But at the very least, I'll probably watch the first 2 episodes and see what's up. Again, I haven't decided if that's going to be something that I cover weekly, but we'll see. And also, I would like to watch the first episode of The Water Magician. I am definitely going to be watching that. I don't know if I'm going to be covering it, but I'm certainly going to be checking in on it. I got to see what people are covering, or what people I know are watching, and what I'm interested in checking out for myself. I got to see what's going on. All right, I guess that's not supposed to be like a clean thing. I don't know. But that goes in like that, and then this goes like this. All right, now is the part of the stream. We have some time left in stream. I want to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I always love hearing from you folks about what you got happening. What's up? So please feel free to let me know what you got going on, because like I said, I am interested in hearing from you about those things. On Tuesday, I played some demos. It was a demo stream. In general, I had a good time with it. There was one demo I didn't really like. I did not like Goblin Cleanup at all. Actually, let me see if I can look at the... Can I look at these here? Yeah, I didn't really like Goblin Cleanup, that demo. In general, I thought it was like too much. And then also I died in it, and I was like, I don't like this game enough to continue and find out why I died. Do You Even Forklift is barely a demo. It is mostly a proof of concept. I think the concept is pretty fun. It was kind of busted in ways I didn't hate. I think that the tutorial was made by people who know how the game works, and I have to imagine they've never consulted with anyone about that game. I would have to imagine that no one, that people who downloaded it are the first people to ever play it, and hopefully they are listening to feedback from people, because that game needs some work, but it was a fun concept. Clover Pit, I have played a couple more times. Clover Pit is a little like dark and dirty for my liking, just my general personal vibe, but I can't ignore the fact that it's fucking good, and like a really good gambling game with like a lot of shit going on in it, and the atmosphere is like real solid, even if I was like, ugh, oh, I don't want to do any of this. It was good. And Consume Me. I'm gonna have to buy that game and play that game. Consume Me is really well done. It is a tough subject to tackle, but it seems like they know how to do it. And having like dieting mini games that are WarioWare inspired is kind of fucking cool as shit. It is a concept I would not have considered for the subject matter that is being investigated. But yeah, really well done. That demo felt fucking polished as all hell. That felt like ready for prime time. So I look forward to that. Yeah, those are the games that I played. And also the usual Hearthstone. There isn't next week we're getting the new expansion. New season starts. My one deck that I really like in standard is going out of standard. Some of those cards won't work, which is annoying, but that's what happens. So I'm going to need a new deck to play when I have to play standard. But I'm having fun in Wild with the decks that I have. New quests are coming out in the next expansion, and none of the quests seem good. None of them seem game breaking. Some of them seem weird in a way that I'm into. But we'll have to see. A lot of theory crafting going on, but I am excited for that because it does change the meta, and there will be good, weird, garbage decks. And it seems like there's that Death Rattle I really like. from the new expansion, and hopefully there'll be some new decks that take advantage of that Umbra, the new Death Rattle card, because that could be real good. There could be some good shenanigans with some new Death Rattles that would play up to that. I also maybe could put that card in. I maybe could put that card in some other bullshit that I already play. Maybe. I don't know. Nubby's Number Factory. I unlocked. You start with. I unlocked a version of gameplay where a Tony, I should say, where you have 200 gold at the very start, and then you never get gold again, and that's a fucking challenge because you think like, oh, I'll just load up on items, but like, then you can't replace items, so you have to like pick items that you would want to have the entire run. But sometimes you don't know what items you would want the entire run until you have some like until you have really cool stuff. Like you kind of want to just unlock all the extra spots and get into the cafe early, but then if you don't have one of the perks that involves food, you might not need to do the food perk. So it's like, oh, okay. It's a different strategy. I love like having enough gold for things and not having to worry about that. And then just trying to roll for the stuff you need. It's interesting. It is a interesting part of the mechanic, a wrinkle in the game mechanic that I'm super into. I'm trying to win with that. We'll see how I do. I'm going to read what y'all have been writing because thank you for including some thoughts and what you're up to and what you're into. Ghost Valve, hey Ghost Valve says, almost done with my puzzle game for a bit. Hopefully we'll get some time to squad game. Spent my post work today helping rip up a small tree and getting a fence post in. The outdoors. Yeah. I do some watering today. And I also mowed. I mowed the front lawn today, and then also helped out with some watering. It was supposed to cool off, and now it is not going to cool off, and it's just hot, and I hate it. I'll talk about tomorrow at the end here. Lashberg says, I tried to play more KOTOR 2 alongside AMCA, but my game won't stop crashing, and I've run out of fixes on the internet. So I started playing System Shock 2, and I'm kind of regretting not rolling a hacker. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I played, but I do remember that class being pretty fucking good. But again, it's been a hot minute since I played that. Sorry that you could not find any KOTOR 2 fixes that worked for you. That's a bummer. But yeah, that game is a mess. There's only so much you can do with it. But yeah, it's a real fucker. And then Lord Crashington says, I tried out Super Mario Strikers on Switch 2, and that seems pretty good. Yeah, that's a good Super Mario. That's a good Strikers game. I think that's the best one, if I remember right. And I'm glad that that's been fun and it seems good. Hell yeah. We'll love to hear that. Hope you have a great fucking time with it. So often for 4th of July, I will do grilling. I normally will man the grill, but this year we have been invited to our neighbors, which is fine. And so we're going to go to our neighbors, and they're going to do the grilling. And we're not having burgers and hot dogs. We're having ribs, not baby back, but just like spare ribs, and London broil. And that doesn't sound bad to me, you know? Like, that sounds pretty fucking good. These are things my dad likes, so that's nice. And everybody will like something there. My mom doesn't really like ribs, but she likes London broil, so like that'll be good. I'm probably gonna load up on ribs because I like London broil. I you know, it's a fine enough cut of meat, you know, good marinated meat. It's not a great cut of meat, but it's good marinated. But like, I don't get ribs that often, so like if the ribs are good, I'm just gonna load up on those. It'll be fun. It's right down the street, so I might just walk home and not stay the entire time. So I might just do that. I might be a little antisocial and peace out early so that I can watch wrestling with friends because on Friday nights I often put a wrestling show on in the Discord and hang out with some people. That is often what we are doing. I want to see how this goes together because I believe... Okay, so this is 8. So this is how the arm goes. Like this. I forget how weird this thing is. This is the left arm, or the right arm, I should say. My left, but it's the right arm. This is the fucking right arm. God damn it. This kid's so weird. This points forward. What a weird kit. We got a lot done on this, though. We got the head done. We got the chest done, including the weirdness of this. We've got one arm and the shoulder done. We still have to do the backpack head, the head part, the back part, I guess, the backpack, I guess, and the other arm. Yeah, that's the backpack. That's right, because it's got the booster, so it's technically the backpack. And then we'll work on the feet and the legs. And there's very little weapons to this, but there are beam sabers. The beam sabers live in the legs and then come out for the arms. So it does have some weapons. And then we'll try to figure out if we can get the mobile armor, aka the transformation, done properly at some point. But we got more of this kit to build in the future. John Williams asked, "Hi Pat, are you on Squared Circle?" No, I am not. I try not to be on Reddit at all. Occasionally, I have to go on Reddit to check some things out here and there. But whenever possible, I try to avoid subreddits. It's just better for me. It just works out better for me in the long run. I'm not trying to knock communities, because there are some really fun subreddits out there, but generally it's just easier for me in my mental state to not ever think about it. And that's gonna do it. On that note, I think we're gonna wrap up the stream. I want to thank everybody so much for joining me. It's not over yet because we are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff on the internet and go hang out with them. Somebody that I follow on Twitch and want to go raid. So the party can continue. Let's see who's streaming right now. I think Rara is probably getting close to clearing out, although Rara streams forever. But we did raid Rara yesterday or Tuesday, so I want to spread the love out a little bit. We will raid my friend Vectroid more because she's back and she's doing her thing. Let's go watch a VTuber play Silent Hill 2. That sounds fun. My boy P2 is playing Silent Hill 2, and that seems like a thing that will be fun for P2 to watch. So I think you'll enjoy it too, because P2 is great. I want to thank you so much for joining me here tonight on the old Build with Bear. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time. I was happy to have you here. I will be back on Saturday. I will tell you about what I ate and other things from tomorrow, video games, anime. There will probably be more video game news. Maybe we'll talk about All In. We'll get into some talk about Y'all In and get ready for that. Perhaps, but it'll be a fun time. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.